Yeah, I heard word around town, it's a poppin' out.
Hey yo, what is up everybody? It's the King and we got another Dokkan Battle video. Now usually I don't do this format of video, but it's been bothering me all day. So as we know on Twitter, well Vjump, the leaks, the scans and whatnot, we had information about an hour before this image dropped that STR Cooler was going to get his EZA. Listen, we're him and the Cooler's armored squadron. Listen, the STR Cooler is like probably top 5, 6 EZAs they've ever announced. Like they can't fumble him. This is my concern. It's not that I think he's gonna be bad, but we're in an age where, like, right now, all the EZA wars have flaws. Like, it's just inherent. They're not completely fixed. None of them is a clear number one, even though I think Namek Goku is number one. There's so many different arguments you can make for, like, the top 6 or 7 EZAs. They could all be arranged differently, and I actually think that's good for the game. But this guy is young enough to where, yes, he needed an EZA to be relevant right now, but you could have waited like another year. I don't really think anybody would be like, "Oh, where's Cooler's EZA?" Like, no, he was relevant long enough. He was relevant for so long. He feels younger than a lot of his counterparts because he aged like slowly, if that makes sense. Like Cooler, I'd say about right before the God event came out, even though I had felt like Cooler's defense had waned well before that, right before the God event came out on JP is around when I'd say Cooler, his defense was just unrunnable, if in my opinion. I'd say a little bit before that from my experience. But yeah, this Cooler is so powerful. So this is what I mean when I say I typically don't do videos like this. I want to go over what I think his EZA will look like. Like, I want to make him an EZA passive, super attack, skill set, all of that. I want to do that right now for him and the Armored Squadron. No one's hyped for the Armored Squadron. I'm gonna be a buck with y'all. So there's not really much we can do in that regard, but let's get into it. Alright, now starting off with, we know why you guys are here. Alright, if you clicked on the video, I understand why you clicked, because I would only click for Cooler too, so I'll get to the Armored Squadron later. STR Final Form Cooler, one of the most dominant units ever dropped. Like, his release immediately set a tone for the rest of the game's history. There were few units that could compare to him. His offensive potency was unmatched, and he aged like wine because not only did he hit hard, he was an amazing, not some random arbitrary category, he was an amazing support unit. Attack and defense 100%, transformation boost at category allies, y'all know, get 2 key 30%, which was, that's absurd because he leads these teams, right? So I expect, he's going to get, okay, let's start with his leader skill. He's going to get 3 keys, stats 170% to both categories. Namek Goku's leader skill is good, but only because of Super Saiyans. I wouldn't say the Namek Saga part of it really matters because you're not running like full power Frieza or like AGL Ginyu on that team. But it is a good, just for that Super Saiyan buff. These are two amazing categories right here. Transformation Boost is a category. It will always and has always been getting buffs since it released. Like, it will constantly get upgraded. The best and most premier units in the game are almost always on Transformation Boost in some capacity, right? Now, well, I thought there were going to be a couple more LRs on here. I'm surprised. The Super Int and Super Physical slots for the LRs are blank. It's very bizarre. I just didn't think that would be the case. Now, Cooler here, super attack. I know we can just say, oh, have him stack attack and defense. Do y'all really think they're gonna give him attack and defensive stacking? Like, I'm gonna be honest here, probably not. Now, ideally, he'd raise defense permanently, lower attack and defense greatly, and then in his final form he would raise attack, raise defense for 1 turn so that he could benefit even more off of all that stacked up defense you did get, and then greatly lower defense. I think by the time you transform, lowering attack is irrelevant, so I don't think anybody really cares for that. Then you just add, like I said, raise defense for 1 turn, stack attack permanently. I don't know what you do with his support type buff. But in my perfect world, transformation boost category allies get 3 key, 35% attack and defense. When facing one enemy, terrifying conquerors would get 3 key. Bro, really? It's scary because, like, are you gonna bump that to 60%? Do you guys have any idea what that does to the matter of fact? Let's pull up Terrifying Conquerors. You pull up Terrifying Conquerors. Do you really want to give more help to this guy? Like, I think Cooler. I don't think he's the best unit in the game, but he's definitely the best offensive unit in the game, in my opinion. His peak is horrifying. His peak is untouchable. Like, I love it. I love it. So do you really want to give more help to this guy? That would, that would help getting you in a way, but not the way you'd want, of course. That would help this guy a lot because if you're floating him, he's giving 3 key, 30% to Terrifying Conquerors. You're running a full team of them. Metal Cooler, you giving him more and more help would be amazing for him because his link set is so good too. So these two together, Metal Cooler, AGL Golden Frieza here, full power Frieza. This first form Frieza can actually still hit really, really hard for a free-to-play unit. His offense is aging very slowly. Like, it's surprising actually because he got his Easy A so long ago, right? And then you got all these T-Wars, villains, it's villain everything, right? So you can constantly add to this. AGO Turles would be getting that buff. Sometimes his defense can scare me, but if he doesn't transform during these events, so that would help him a lot, giving him. Let's say you kept this cooler on rotation, and then you had AGL Turles in slot 3. You got STR Cooler in slot 1, well, STR Base Form Cooler, STR Final Form Cooler, and then AGL Turles. Like, do y'all get how dominant of a rotation that can be in difficult content? Offense is unmatched. Well, Turles doesn't hit particularly hard, but assuming this guy gets, like, I can't even say 200% attack. You know what? Assuming this guy gets 200% attack and defense, and he's stacking his defense permanently in his base form, bro, that's an unheard of level of T-War, bro, because he's this magnificent, I guess. He's just crazy. He's a magnificent support. He loves being on the team. The team loves him having him there. Excuse me. And his transformation condition, I don't really see what you would change about this. Maybe the one enemy thing you could just say when 6 turns have passed, like, completely remove the one enemy part of it. That's all that I would really change for him. His transformation condition is whatever. Did they change? They didn't change Namek Goku's at all. So I could see this guy having the exact same condition. I don't really care for it. Link set is amazing. Well, I shouldn't say I don't care for it, but you guys know how valuable it is, right? Link set, come on, Doug. Come on. Metamorphosis has become such a powerful link for me. I have noticed it every single time I've hopped into a red zone stage or Cell Max, anything like that. This link is very powerful. 10% HP recovery between the two of them, and then 10% attack and defense between the two of them. Very valuable. Of course, the very best link in the game, Big Bad Bosses, and he has the Frieza family links plus Brutal Beatdown and Fierce Battle. His categories. What I've noticed this about Cooler. Transformation boost, since it's scattered all over the game, sometimes it'll be the weirdest units. Like, look over here. Like, it'll be, Super Saiyan Trunks, who, nah, you're not going to run them on a team together, but I'm just saying, in theory, like, it'll be these random Saiyan units or something like that, or units you feel like he has no business being around, and he's giving them the 2 key 30%. So if he easy A's and he is an amazing unit, that would help him out a lot. Now, I didn't say this about his passive, which is the whole reason I made this video. I couldn't get this thought off my chest. What if Cooler gets 20%? Because AGL Metal Cooler does this effect. What if he gets 20% damage reduction versus Superclass, and then another 20% damage reduction versus Pure Saiyans? In his base form, that would be insane. And then once he transforms, let's get into this, because I know y'all were waiting for this. Let's get into this. I already told you guys what I think his super attack effect should be. Continue stacking attack permanently, raise defense for 1 turn, and greatly lower defense. Passive skill, 3 key. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Attack and defense, 250%. It'd be crazy, I know. Launch an additional attack that has a high chance of becoming a super attack. But what if he could launch 2 additional attacks? I'd love that. So 2 additionals that have high chances of becoming a super attack. He'd be a babied version of STR LR Cooler. That'd be very nice. And then of course the crit chance should stay. And then tack on 30% damage reduction. It doesn't even have to be the 40%. Just like I said, this guy would get increments 2 versions of 20% for the 40. This guy just gets 30% against anybody. That'd be really nice. Now, let's say he's pushing 650k defense with 30% damage reduction. That's massive, bro. Like, I don't know who he'd be able to tank against because I can't do the math off the top of my head like that, but that'd be very, very powerful. Link set is stays the same, so even like I said, this guy's going to be a good lead. So you run 2 of these if you want to for the transformation boost leader skill. You got 2 of these guys, you transform one and they link up with each other. That was another reason this guy was so powerful because they're 2 completely different units, his base form and his transformed final form. They're 2 completely different units that had the perfect link set. One of them was the support and he could hit hard, 3.5, 3.7 mil attack stats. And then this guy's doing like triple 4 or 5 million, like on his very best turns. Y'all trying to get me lit, bro, with the crits, raising attack over and over again. Y'all about to get me lit, man. I hope that this guy I hope he's something special. I think anything less than being clearly the best EZATUR, Dokkan sold. I think they sold if he's not #1. Namek Goku's very good. I think Physical Future Gohan is very good for what he does, being a partner to the best unit in the game, and Vegeta and Trunks. There's others. Second Vegito Blue can hit very hard. I'm most excited after this guy right here in front of us. I'm most excited for STR Rose's EZA because I just always love that unit. He has a little nice place in the Hitman's heart, so I want great things from him. There's others, right? There's a couple more I'm probably forgetting off the top of my head. AGL Turles, the only time I'd consider him in that range is when you transform and get to stack his defense at least twice. Because other than that, his defense is horrifying. His defense scares me. He can't tank well enough if he doesn't transform at least once. No, I was talking about the Armored Squadron. This is there's a lot of dumbass links in the game. This one's up there, all right? We have attack and defense 25% at link level 10. Let's go through the rankings of the best units on this category and why it's pretty much impossible to activate this link on any stage that matters. Starting off, we have Naze and Dore. 2 rares. Don't worry though, Thouser, the leader of the squadron. He's a super rare. One of the oldest SRs in the game. Oh my gosh. He's an SR Thouser. He's the only SR in the category. That sounds good on paper. Then you get to the SSRs. One of the SSRs is an awakening of the SR Thouser. The other one is just Thouser from Cooler's original banner in, let's see when he came out. October of 2019. So I'm sure you guys don't think he's too valuable, right? But don't worry, he awakens into the only UR on the entire category. This is one of the most unalive links in the game because now this guy's gonna EZA. Sure, that sounds great, but like, let's be honest, he has 6 links. This Armored Squadron unit has 6 links, so that sucks for anybody they have to be near. Like, they make other units worse by proxy. No, Terrifying Conquerors, that'll probably be like 4 key 130. Who cares? Super attack effect lowers attack and defense. I think it would be nice if they raised attack and defense for 1 turn on each super and then lowered attack and defense. That'd be really nice for a super battle road or difficult content in general. This attack and defense 30%. First of all, their stats are actually going to be pretty crazy. Let me see if I can find it. No. Did Truth retweet it? Let's see. I need their stats. Damn it. Their stats aren't available. Their stats are insane. They have like 17.1k attack and I think like 17k HP or something like that. So yeah, you give them attack and defense 40% per Terrifying Conqueror ally on the team, and then you launch 2 additional attacks. each of which has a medium chance of becoming a super attack when there's a cooler on the team. What do you do besides that though? Because they're so open. Maybe you could make them a Terrifying Conqueror support. That would fix, Cooler's Underling and Cooler's Armored Squadron for sure. And loyalty, you're not getting too much. Like you'll get it with certain Ginyu Force members. Like seriously, Old Judgment is not even a link you'd get often on their teams. I don't know who you'd be getting that with. Shocking Speed and Fierce Battle, because you're not getting Brainiacs. I don't even know why they have Brainiacs. This should have been like Nightmare or Fear and Fate, because they were torturing like the Z fighters for a couple minutes. Like they were just trying to like tease and like, I don't know, ridicule the gap in strength until Piccolo showed up and cracked them, right? A Nightmare, Fear, and Faith, either of those would have been much better off. That sucks. That sucks. And one thing this unit always had as an issue is that they're not all movie bosses because they're just the side characters. Movie bosses should be movie villains, but that's another conversation. So they're not on a team that would be very nice to have them alongside Cooler. Their EZA, it could be all over the place because they're so Cooler dependent, but I don't know what you would do. I don't know what you would do. What would you do? Maybe give them 15% mitigation with each attack performed? Maybe, let's sit back and think about this. Maybe give them 1 key. Oh, wow, they don't even have key in their passive, do they? Yeah, that's massive. They need, okay, so 1 key attack and defense, 40% per Terrifying Conqueror ally on the team. Launch 2 additional guaranteed attacks, each of which has a medium chance of becoming a super attack when there's a cooler on the team. And then 15% mitigation with each attack performed. I think that wouldn't even, would that make them, and then they raise attack and defense for 1 turn on super? Would that make them viable? Like viable enough with their terrible link set? And they're not on movie bosses or transformation boost? I don't know, man. I don't know that would fix them. So, who knows what Akatsuki has waiting for us. I guess I'll leave it there. I hope you guys enjoyed this very bizarre breakdown. I'm not used to formatting a video like this, so I guess it's whatever. It's the young Hitman. And Hitman is off this.